Isn't it crazy? The Browns have 8 championships, have never been to a Super Bowl, never even hosted one. But the Bengals have been to 3. As far as like oddities with the numbers, there's a perfect 40-year gap between 82 and 2022. And then, of course, they hit the 89 for the 86 coding for the Browns. So this is one of the many teams who would have needed to do their part, even as crazy as it is to think of the Lions and Browns never making one and finally facing off against each other. Isn't it crazier that every single other team has made it except the Texans and the Jags? We got the Jags relocating and the Texans turning into the Oilers soon, right? Like, so I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff that'll have to line up. Like, I feel like the Jags and the Texans are just there so you can be like, oh, look, there's still 2 teams that haven't, you know what I mean? Like, they're literally just there to be the team that's never won. I know, because they never won a league where every single team has made it or won or whatever you want to say, right? Now, I do think, of course, the Bengals, like I said, will eventually be dissolved. I like them turning into the Canton Bulldogs. Cincinnati originally had an NBA team too. They had the Royals, right? But they lost them, and nobody cares. I think eventually nobody will care that the Bungles don't exist, even though they've played in 3 Super Bowls. They've never won one. Maybe they never do. But I'll bet the Canton Bulldogs tear off a few, at least one, right? And then you got a really epic, I think Cleveland Browns versus Canton Bulldogs rivalry would be way more epic than whatever the Bengals can provide. And as far as like picking a good script, like for this year, almost anything you can think of as a good script. I have to immediately give you, of course, the Chiefs, because they got the three-peat thing going on. The Bills are cursed, right? I've got the Cowboys sneaking in there. Could it somehow be the Bills finally get revenge on the Cowboys, right? I think as far as who the Lions could beat, any one of the AFC North teams would be a good story, right? You got the Bengals just as the team that Paul Brown went and formed. You got the Ravens, who the Browns turned into, and you got the Steelers, who started the Bobby Lane curse, and have had the Turnpike rivalry with the Browns. So I mean, there's a billion good scripts out there. I'm just saying there's only one that absolutely just explodes off the page, right? And it's the one we know it is. It's the Lions beating the Browns. As far as just to round it out. We like Joe Thomas coming back. We like Josh Gordon coming back. We like Teddy Bridgewater coming back. We like Nick Foles coming back. We like Malik Hooker, coming on by a cut. Maybe if the Cowboys just cut ties with them, I could see us picking him up too. But that one's one I feel least good about. Right now, weird little things we'll get into as well as like how many trades and stuff have been made to just make all these other teams like just not good enough to be undoubtedly like it's too weird for the Browns to beat them. Like every single team is severely flawed in one way or another in ways that I don't think we've ever seen. Like a lot of times the flaws don't show up till really late. It'll be a kicker hasn't missed all year, finally misses one, right? I mean, it's like everybody's had some sort of curse or something throughout the season, except the Lions are the only team that seemingly gotten by unscathed, and their only loss is to Baker Mayfield. And as far as like stuff that popped up in the pregame, so Myles Garrett, 3 sacks, 3 tackles, and 3 QB hits in Week 11 versus Pittsburgh. They got the 3-3-3. Baker Mayfield was in the pregame giving an interview, right? So just to remind you about Baker, right before the Browns game, and he drops his headset and like it stops working. Like it's like that's him trying to put it back on there. You can see his face kind of like, right? So there's Russell Wilson with the 33 on the hat. I thought I had more than that, but yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you here. We obviously, if our Brownies lose today, it's all over, right? And we don't have to worry about the Ravens this week. We get to breathe a little bit easier and just worry about the one game, take it one game at a time like the Browns are doing. And little things. I think it's interesting though on Hard Knocks. Joe Burrow, starting quarterback at the Bengals, says that he thinks his team could afford to maybe lose one game and still make the playoffs. Well, they're only one game ahead of the Browns. So it's like Joe Burrow was telling you inadvertently, the Browns can get in there. The Browns are only talking about playoffs. All their coaches are like just incredibly amped up, getting people fired up to do their jobs, ready to start hurting some feelings. Myles Garrett is ready to prove he's the very best player in the entire league, best defensive player we've had since Lawrence Taylor. All right, so that's what it is.